I'm Charlie Smith. For the past few weeks, I've been studying social media addiction. In my studies, I've found that YouTube and Facebook are the most used online platforms in America. They're giants in the world of social media. According to the Pew Research Center, 81% of Americans report to have used YouTube. That's compared to things like Snapchat, which you guys use every day. Snapchat reports to only have been used by 25% of Americans. But when you bring it down to a scale that you guys would be more familiar with, let's say young adults, more specifically 18 to 29-year-olds, 65% say they've used Snapchat and 71% say they've used Instagram. So it'd be fair to say these things are a massive part of our lives. Might even be too much. Even going back to YouTube, 95% of people ages 18 to 29 say they've used YouTube. 95%. Knowing this, I thought to myself, this could be a problem. I mean, when I use YouTube, it's almost always for leisure time. Maybe even for multiple hours a day. This could mean that 95% of people ages 18 to 29 are collectively wasting thousands and thousands of hours on YouTube. At what point does it become an addiction? I'm going to ask a few people what they think of my research. Would you tell us your name?
Daniel Raymond Pollock.
Did you say that you spend a lot of time on your phone, Daniel?
Yes.
Would you be willing to show us your screen time?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so come up and show the camera here.
Okay, so I haven't been on my phone all day today, so I'll show my yesterday.
Alright. Oh, that says, what does that say? That says
6 hours and 43 minutes.
Okay, would you consider that a lot of time?
Yes.
Yeah? Have you ever tried to cut back on your screen time?
No.
No, you haven't. What do you think of YouTube?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, do you use it daily?
I'd say so.
Yeah? Snapchat?
Yes, sir.
Daily?
Yes, sir.
Alright. How would you define addiction for us?
If you do it repetitively without knowing it.
Would you say harmful at all?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And just a couple other questions. Do you hold personal, like in-person social interaction with your friends? You hold that highly?
Yes, very much.
And do you think spending time on social media makes you further disconnected with your friends?
It's either more connected or less connected. Depends on the day.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions.
All right.
Thank you, Dan, for that lovely interview. Dan was saying that he used Snapchat daily, and I assume a lot of you also do that as well. I would also invite you to take out your phone and look at your screen time. Is yours lower or higher than Dan's? Take a look. You might be surprised. Also, according to the International Journal of Educational Methodology, spending more than 7 hours on your phone or social media a day scores the highest on the social media addiction scale. So Dan, you're kind of walking the line there, just throwing that out there. Hello. Would
Hello.
you just state your name for us, please?
I'm Jack Hartfelder.
Would you say that you spend a lot of time in your phone, Jack?
I would say so.
Yeah? Have you ever tried to cut back on your screen time?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you spend a lot of time. Would you say YouTube is something you spend a lot of time on?
Definitely.
Snapchat?
Definitely.
Yeah, you use these things daily.
Yes.
Okay. How has your use of social media ever interfered with your friendships or relationships?
I don't think so. I
No?
mean, maybe to a very small extent, but nothing that I could recall that's really severe.
Okay. Have you ever been worried about anyone close to you due to their social media use? Maybe excessive social media use. Ever been worried about something like that?
Not particularly. I know some people that use social media too much, but no one that I'm very close to has a big problem.
Do you ever notice how much time you spend on Snapchat or YouTube or anything and wish you'd spent that time doing something else?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah? Alright, thank you. Thank you, Jack, for that wonderful interview. So far, both Dan and Jack have said that they use Snapchat daily. 71% of people ages 18 to 29 say they use the app daily. 73% for Instagram. Would you tell us your name?
My name is Michael Zhu.
Would you say that you spend a lot of time on your phone, Michael?
I do.
Would you be willing to show us your screen time? Do you have screen time?
I do not have screen
You
time.
don't have screen time? Okay.
If
is
I
that?
did,
Why?
it would probably be a lot, but
Okay.
I don't.
So you'd say you spend a lot of time on your phone?
Yes,
Yeah?
a lot.
Have you ever tried to cut back on your screen time?
I have.
Yeah, you have?
Yeah.
successfully or
It was pretty successful.
pretty successful?
Yeah.
All right. What
There
do you
are
think
some
of
days that I still do.
some days that you still use the log?
It varies. It varies.
It varies. What do you think of YouTube?
Like it's very addictive.
Very addictive. Yeah.
Like the recommendations, I just keep on clicking on them. It's like, yeah,
Do you use YouTube daily? You'd say.
I do. Yeah.
Use Snapchat
Yes, daily.
daily.
Yep.
Yeah. Could you give us, a definition of addiction?
I think it would just be an overuse of a service that could either be harmful or harmless. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just overuse of something.
How do you think your social media use compares with the rest of the United States social media use?
I definitely said I think I'm more of like on the average side. In terms of like posting on social media, I don't really post that much, but like using it, browsing it, I'd say it's pretty average.
Pretty average? Okay. Do you think that social media is becoming a problem at all, particularly in the United States? By problem, I mean like addiction or it's becoming excessive or anything like that?
Yeah, it's definitely. Like myself, I find myself like just going on it more and more. I feel like.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
This table shows people's hours spent online add up to about 7 hours a day. This is doing numerous different things during time, which could be used for various other things. As you can see here, from 2006 to 2017, time spent on the internet has vastly risen, and in-person social interactions have lowered incredibly. The happiness and sleep seem to correlate with the movement seen by hours spent on the internet and in-person social interaction. Now, before I go on to elaborate on more of the negative aspects of social media, it's important to talk about some of the good parts. During the communications revolution, the computer industry was completely transformed. The internet exploded, and it had an unlimited audience. By 2009, 228 million Americans used the internet. 97% of schools offered internet access. Without the internet, space exploration would have been impossible. Biotechnology wouldn't have been invented. But what did happen was things like Facebook, Twitter, and many more came along.
Of what's going on. Mark, if somebody was to put the question to you about the magnitude of what you think you've launched, how big do you think your product or your service is?
Well, it's impossible to tell. When we first launched, we were hoping for, maybe 400, 500 people. Harvard didn't have a Facebook, so that's the gap that we were trying to fill. And now we're at 100,000 people, so who knows where we're going next. We're hoping to have many more universities by...
That was Mark Zuckerberg talking about the Facebook. It was a platform used on college campuses. Facebook grew to become so much more than that. Now it's part of the social media world. Now, I'd also like to throw in there that all 3 people I interviewed are 16 and 17-year-old boys that go to a private prep school. The International Journal of Educational Methodology found that the greatest difference when it came to social media addiction was in the school status variable. The schools that had high academic achievement scored much lower on the addiction scale than schools with far lower academic achievement. It's also argued that social media is much worse for young girls. Body image becomes a problem. Several girls report to not be surprised at all when they hear research from Instagram showing that it's toxic for teenage girls. Many reports from high school and college girls say that they feel social interactions on Instagram are inauthentic. They end up wanting to delete the app because it's contributing negatively to their lives. Instagram's own research shows that they worsen body image for girls. Once again, thank you to everyone that let me interview them. Thank you guys for watching.